Long drive into deep right center field. This ball is out of here. Matt Stairs with a 2-run pinch hit home run. And the Phillies have taken a 7-5 lead here in the 9th inning and battled all the way back.
If you grew up in the greater Philadelphia area and were a baseball fan, that voice is very familiar to you. To me, it's the voice of summer. It's the voice of baseball. It's the voice of Harry Kalas, who died Monday in the broadcast booth in D.C. before the Phillies played the Nationals. He was 73. Harry the K was the voice of the Philadelphia Phillies for 38 seasons. He called the first and last game at Veterans Stadium, all of Hall of Fame third baseman Mike Schmidt's 548 home runs, and both World Series victories. For my money, he was every bit as good as all the classic baseball announcers like Red Barber, Curt Gowdy, Vin Scully, Harry Carey, or Mel Allen.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Phillies are the 93 National League champions.
I should maybe backtrack here and say that I love baseball. I watch the game whenever I can. I'll argue the finer points of why the American League doesn't really play true baseball, and I cry at the end of Field of Dreams. When it comes to baseball, my team is the Philadelphia Phillies.
Fight, fight, fighting through the season. Fight, fight, fighting through the fall. Fight, fight, fighting, there are fighting Phillies. Fight, fight, fight for it all. Phillies flying round the bases. Long ball headed for the wall. Fans are cheering 'cause it's out of here, and Harry's making the call. Let's hand the closer the ball.
I was born the year the Phillies won their first World Series, the era of the great Mike Schmidt, or, as Harry called him,
Michael Jack Schmidt.
Schmidt and Kalas are inexorably linked in my mind. I don't think anyone in the history of anything was ever as excited as Harry was when Schmidt hit his 500th home run.
The 3-0 pitch. Swing a long drive. There it is. Number 500. The career 500th home run for Michael Jack Schmidt. And the Phillies dugout comes swarming out to home plate.
I never truly appreciated how exceptional an announcer Harry was until I moved from Wilmington, Delaware to Washington, D.C. Suddenly I was confronted with a barrage of banal announcers reducing baseball to a nonpartisan abstract event. When I moved from D.C. to L.A., the Phillies started to get hot again, and I missed Harry more than ever. As I watched the 2008 Phils slowly climb to the top of the NL East and beat the Dodgers for the National League Championship, I never got to hear Harry call the games. When Brad Lidge threw the third strike to win the World Series last year, I was watching on Fox.
Phillies are world champions.
When I heard Harry call the play, I cried.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 world champions of baseball. And what the city celebrates.
As everybody said, he really was a great guy. He was a big help to me when I first started to get into radio.
This is my uncle Mike Crossin, who worked in broadcasting in Philadelphia and currently works for Silverstream Media in Dallas.
When I was in college in Oklahoma, I had listened to him do the Houston Astros games. This was in the late 60s, and I liked him. And then when I came back home after finishing college, he was doing the Phillies for the first year. All I did was slipped him a note, told him how much I liked him on the Astros broadcasts, and was glad to see that he was here in Philadelphia. And he ended up writing back to me, giving him his number, invited me up for lunch, and I went up and had lunch with him. And he was very encouraging. He was one of those guys that got you excited about the broadcast business because he was so happy in it himself and so good at it. And, of course, he was doing what he always wanted to do. He told me some different things, basically how to prepare for a game, how to get in when you go to a radio station. Don't go in and try to be a sports announcer right away. Go in and take any job they'll give you and do everything at the station. That's exactly what I ended up doing at the first couple of stations I worked at. I ended up being program director, engineer sometimes, depending on what happened. And really, it was kind of he gave me that kind of guidance. And then subsequently, I stayed in touch with him, and I would see him at Phillies games and go up in the press box and things like that. And then when we got married, my wife and I, we were on our honeymoon in Florida, and he got us tickets to a Phillies exhibition game at Clearwater and invited us up into the press box, and we met Richie Ashburn and By Som, and he just was a really great guy, and he always had some great funny stories to tell. I used to eat dinner with him sometimes in the press room at the Vet when I was sports director at WFIL, and we had some great conversations.
Nationally televised baseball has possibly the worst commentating in the history of organized sports. The chief issue seems to be one of ratings. Commentators attempt to craft a compelling narrative throughout an entire game, so even when the other team is down 9 runs in the bottom of the 9th, you have to sit through descriptions about how this is still, somehow, anyone's game. Harry Kalas was the ideal play-by-play man. He revved you up when the Phils won and was a calming force when they lost. And no matter how excited he got, you always understood every single word.
1-strike pitch. Trio, a line drive, fair ball, left field line. Avi left scores. Here's Dellinger being waved around. He's going to score. Matty Trio at third and triple. Phillies lead at 7-5. What a comeback by this great bunch of Phils.
It sounds oddly dramatic to say that Harry Kalas was the voice of my childhood, but I don't see any other way to describe it. Every time I see a long ball cross the wall, no matter where I am or what team is playing, my inner monologue yells.
Outta here!
And that takes me back to tossing wiffle balls in the air in my backyard to smack across the fence. Or playing with my cousin Matt in our grandparents' side yard, where the right angle made of the hedge and the clothesline, combined with a tree for first base and a storm door for third to make a perfect mini veteran stadium. Off the garage was a ground rule double. Little kids got 5 strikes. And it was Harry we all imitated when someone hit one long. The last game Harry called was this past Sunday against the Colorado Rockies. His last call was a routine ground out in the bottom of the 9th.
Bouncing ball to Chase Utley should be the game. Chase throws him out. And that will be it as the Phils win 2 out of 3 here at Coors Field, coming back to take this one by a score of 7-5.
The Phils won, but more importantly, Matt Stairs pinch hit a home run in the 8th inning that afforded us all one last trademark cry from Harry.
Long drive into deep right center field. This ball is out of here. Matt Stairs with a 2-run pinch hit home run. And the Phillies have taken a 7-5 lead here in the 9th inning and battled all the way back.
Well, he spit on that first